Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to go live here on our Instagram so that'll get us going. We are live today doing Compass Backstage. Why is it telling me my Instagram isn't working? One second, a little technical thing. Let's make sure. There we go. Today we are at Compass Backstage Live, our live stream series diving into the real stories behind music, the growth, the creative journey, and I'm super excited to welcome you, Emeline, to today's guest, incredible artist, songwriter, powerhouse performer, Emeline. If you're in TikTok watching me, come join us on Instagram or YouTube, and then you're going to see Emeline and I chat. I'll jump off TikTok in a bit, but you're only going to hear me, so it makes no sense. Come join the live and in Emeline's channel or mine, YouTube and Instagram. We're going to talk about your journey through Compass Artist Development Program, her bold move from being signed to embracing life as a fully indie artist, and I want to dive into that with you. So, welcome, first of all. I'm so glad that you're here and we're sharing this time together.
Thank you so much. I miss you. It's so good to see you.
Here we are. I know it's weird. I'll be in LA. I'll be in LA in September for Compass Unplugged, our live event in LA. We're working on that now. Um, so that we'll have that conversation and everything there. So I'll get to see you, but we got to just this gets to be our catch up. But
Yeah.
we'll do matcha later.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your journey. First, you started with me as a vocal,
Yeah.
doing vocal training and one-on-one coaching, and then you did Compass with me, which is I'm so excited we did. What originally drew you to Compass? Like, where were you creatively or personally when you said, "Yes, I want to do this. This is the right time. This is it."
Yeah. So I was on Capital at the time. A lot of, you know, I think I was under a lot of pressure to sort of find that exact brand, and the way that I was signed, I wasn't signed as a developing artist, so I didn't really have like and that's amazing that I was signed in a way where, I had kind of done a lot of that work myself, but you always kind of are developing as humans. I feel like the term developing artist can be a bit of a double-edged sword as an artist because sometimes you hear that and it almost sounds like, oh, am I not fully formed, like am I not ready? And you're only as ready as you decide you are, I think. And
I do think that there is developing in like just 34 years in the industry. Somebody is like not as skilled or experienced yet
right,
on stage, and so they're still developing. And when
right.
someone's like, wow, they are really commanding the stage,
Yeah,
right? But I 100% agree with you that
totally.
you're always evolving as an artist.
Hmm.
So it's not like you're like, I've landed and I'm
Yeah,
done,
yeah.
because your life
As a
experiences,
human.
yes,
But yeah,
life
that's what
experiences
to
are going to
me.
make the next thing different.
Totally. And to me, that was like what was so intriguing about, like, just always being committed to that growth and like how deep can I go within who I am right now, and like how does that lead me into finding the next thing, because like we really are always developing artists if we're developing humans, which I would hope that we are. I hope that we're changing and growing. So yeah, for me, I was just sort of like, I want to find that aha. And honestly, I think I kind of entered it looking from a pretty like entrepreneurial brand, like that's the way that I was entering it, especially when you're dealing with like a corporation. I want to walk in and present and have it look seamless. And it's beautiful that that can transition and translate into that. But I think that for me, Compass created a really vulnerable space for me to actually discover things that I didn't even need to bring into the presentation. Like it was more, I kind of ended up gaining more on like the art side than I expected. So yeah.
Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And I remember like during label time where like they would tell me, she's a little all over the place. Like she's this and then she's that. And I totally understood from you, no, these two things coexist. It
Mhm.
just was giving you the language, and then the language and the um, communication tool and so when you did present it to them, like, this is how this and this go together, they're like,
Yes.
oh, we see you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is I've always been multiple, and I think that that is often something in general that can be a bit scary to others if they don't possess that themselves.
Mm,
For me, like, even with my style, like, I love being very hyper feminine, but then I also love being masculine. I love, like, slicking my hair back and wearing suits. I think that, to a major label at the time, like, that was almost like confusing for people who didn't possess that. And then like also just like being around like another queer artist for me, like it was really like great to meet you and like be able to be understood in that way. And just like leaning into that now has made me feel like so loved in myself. But then I'm also like finding the right fans who like see that
yeah.
about me and like see themselves in that, and leaning so far into connecting those two is, I mean, that's like where the magic is, where you don't have to drown any one part of yourself out.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, don't drown it out.
Yeah,
For me, it is very much about weaving the wonderful layers together and how do they coexist? And is it in this music video that this is amplified more and this is subtle, and then in the next one this is more amplified and this is subtle, but together it all makes sense, and
totally.
we can flow from one to the other and still see all of you there, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I
because
think
there
other
does need to be consistency, or
mhm,
there's confusion, or there's I mean, like, you don't change your hair every single time and we're like, wait, I don't know who you are now, right?
yeah,
We definitely, if SNL can't make fun of you, and if we can't make a Halloween costume out of you and we all know who you are,
yeah.
right? It's not dialed in.
Totally, totally. I mean, that's like the Halloween costume. I was myself for Halloween. I was like, I'm manifesting it. No, I was my song. I was Cinderella's dead for Halloween. I was a bloody Cinderella.
That's amazing.
Ridiculous. But no, I completely agree with you, and that's such a like cool way to look at it. And I also think like you look at an artist like Taylor Swift, where there's like all these different things she loves, and she loves this style of music, she loves that style of music, and she like turned it into all these eras. I think
Mhm.
that that's another thing where like for me, I'm like, well, I love this, like, I keep saying masculine and feminine, but there's also like so many different things that I love that I could be talking about. But just like, oh,
Right.
I love like this like hyper pop. Oh, but I love like Queen, and I love like Dolly Parton, and like, do I merge them, or you can also kind of choose to like, do I separate them and make them their own eras so I can like go hyper one way with it? Like
Yep.
there's so many options. I think for me too, because I was on a label, and the kind of strategy for us was just basically doing singles so that we could like, pre-save campaign one thing at a time, get the most possible views to one possible song.
Right.
And for me, I think it was hard to be able to really delve into a world when I wasn't actually creating a world. um,
Mm,
and so I think that like in order to like really be an artist, like you need to drop albums. You need to put out a visual world for that time, for that story, and then go on to the next thing and express the next part.
sure. And I think the single part, like singles to lead up to an album, I
Yeah.
mean, we are in a singles world, which is it's
Mhm.
crazy. But yes, still, how can I build that world single by single leading into this whole project,
Totally.
right? And that builds you an audience and a fan base who's excited for the album,
Yeah, and there's
right?
a blessing with that time. Like, I got to do so much, like, personal growth and development, and now I know exactly what that debut album is gonna be, so,
Yes.
yeah.
So speaking of that, knowing what it is, let's see, how did it help you? Like, how did Compass help you expand or refine that when you're saying, okay, I know what it is I want? How did Compass help you hone in? I think of it as, as an artist, it takes an average of 7 to 10 years to really know yourself. That's just normal.
Mhm.
So it's like you get on the dartboard and you're like, oh, I'm feeling me, I'm feeling me. And we just keep moving ourselves to the bullseye. And then we dive into that bullseye for the rest of your eternity of careers.
Yeah,
Like, I'm in there and I'm going further. And right now I'm more this and right, you know, David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust, David Bowie, all David Bowie, right?
right.
We took that journey because it's all legit, it's all authentic. So was there something like what happened with Encompass that helped you know that, and what else happened? Like, since I do think that the journey of being with a label and then to be independent, is a big part of that knowing as
Mhm.
well. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I hope you know I quote you all the time. Like, like like you probably like, I go to sessions and I just, like, am like, "So, Wendy."
Aw.
But yeah, no, I on this, last EP that I
Really,
put out.
it's actually very, I don't, that's not silly, like, that's very humbling and very moving, and,
Yeah,
I know that it's, I take my role as a coach seriously because I know that it has an impact. It's really important what I say and how
yeah,
I say it, yeah.
I mean, yeah, I mean, and even for me, like, I even had to go outside of being in so many artists, like, work their whole way, like, all they wanna do is, like, be with a major label, and, I feel like, oh, I got to do that, and then I still was like, "Wait, I need to find, like, my team that's, like, able to, like, build in a vulnerable way with me," because, like, that's kind of something you have to, like, create yourself, but yeah, no, I mean, you've been, like, such an incredible mentor. I quote you all the time on, like, just the way that you, opened up my eyes to search more inward instead of searching, for what kind of is, like, right in front of me, kind of going more within, and, you during Compass brought up, like, "Well, what, like, furniture do you like? Like, what do you actually like? And, like, what are those?" For me, I'm like, I literally write with a quill. Part of that is like I feel like I get like so overwhelmed by technology that I try to go like I get like overwhelmed by like feeling tracked by like listening to things on streaming that I like listen mostly to music on vinyl. Like I am such a like why is that? And like where do those things come from? But and like why
Well,
do I have
it's
my
past lives, you're a Luddite, tactical. I have a glass pen and an inkwell.
Yeah, I'm like such a I'm
Wax
such a
seals.
jealous. It gets all over your hands, but it's, like, worth it for the drama. Um, but, yeah, that being said, it ended up so
Spoken like an artist.
yeah, it's I love being a dramatic artist, it's the best.
Yes.
Um, I ended up putting out some of the singles that I'm so happy I put them out, but I put them out on a little EP this year. Um, I think honestly, I think those songs were kind of like before I started with Compass, but I had a lot of like this. Okay, what's your brand? What's your brand? And then because of that comment you said, I like kind of just looked around and I was like, oh, like my brand is like my bedroom. Like my brand is like all the things that I like and like it's actually right in front of me. I don't have to go like referencing a million other people. Like
Yeah,
I
I don't
literally
need to go
trust my
searching very far, do I?
yeah, like and I feel like that's always the thing when you have the aha moment where you're like, "Oh, it's me." Like it's no one else. But
But
yeah,
sometimes it's hard to well, it's actually quite hard to see yourself because you're just so used to it. Like the things in front
yeah,
of you, you're used to. You see them all the time. You enjoy them, and
yeah,
you may not recognize even how powerful they are.
yeah,
Be like,
exactly.
oh wait, no, this is my thing, right?
Yeah. And
Um,
what is that connection and why? And then the why is like a whole nother hole that you can go into, which is like exciting. And I think I will continue that for the rest of my life. But I did take that literally and I put on an event for my EP where I just moved my entire bedroom into a warehouse space. I was moving. I always had this vision that I would be moving for some reason on the day that this event would happen. And it really magically like appeared that I like found my dream place. Like my landlord was like, you can move in on the 9th of May, which was like the day of the event. So I moved my bed into the warehouse space. I literally like let all my fans like jump on it with me, listen to the project with me, like sit in my chairs. Like it was such a I also moved like exactly as it was, like my ashtray on the table, my like wrappers on the floor, my like dirty clothes. Like I did put a do
these
not touch sign on
details.
that, but I just was
No, but
like
you can't, like, you can't make up these details, and if
yeah,
they were made up, we'd be like, "Oh, that's fake, like, that's so
yeah,
staged." But these are, like, your little details that make us go, "Oh, that's you. Oh, that's you. Oh,
yeah.
that's you. Oh, that's
And
you."
I also think, like, a lot of the themes of my project was, like, me coming to terms with, like, I don't know, just being I put life first. I put songs before I put cleaning my room. I think I've
Mhm.
definitely had, like, a little bit of shame around that, but also I'm like, "Oh, like, I, like, fall asleep with glitter on my face," and, like, I'm, like, so embarrassed if, like, I just was kind of a lot of my brand, especially, like, the reason why I wear the kiss, it's like a symbol of rejecting shame,
Mm.
especially since I was branding myself so feminine. I wanted to, like, wear my queerness on my neck and wear that, like, rejection of shame. So taking that to more of a physical space too was such a cool way to do it. And
Again,
also
th this ends up with, like, I knew that that was a thing. Like, when
Mhm.
something has meaning, the depth of it resonates. When
Yeah,
it's just like an idea that isn't even connected to the artist, it's shiny and shallow. But I knew because I remember in the beginning when we first started working, I was like, "Tell me about the lips," because I was immediately like drawn to it, curious. There's something there. It's not just a casual
yeah,
flippant thing. And then you and I talked, I remember when we took a walk around Silver Lake Reservoir and we were catching up about things and this was post Compass. And
mhm,
and we were talking about love letters
mhm,
because again, just identifying something that is like the quill, the pen, like, oh, this is a thing that I'm passionate about. I love, I'm really like they're meaningful to me. And then we talked about how they could become a part of your brand, like how that
yeah,
could be engaged with merchandise or an event or an experience. And I know
yeah.
you've done two versions of them now.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you. Oh, yeah, I think I told you. So I did, like, an activation at that event and with the bedroom event,
Mhm.
um, and it was a little love letter station, so I had fans write to themselves, and I'm gonna mail it back to them in 1 year, and then in 1 year, I'm gonna have my album out, like, I'm gonna have so many fun little things that I'll be able to send to just those, like, few fans that took the moment to send themselves love, and I also think, like, for me, I'm so passionate about self-love. I think that, I've been through a lot. I've talked about it in my music. I've broken, like, toxic relationship cycles. I think that I, have attracted a lot of fans who have unfortunately been through some of those similar life themes, but that, like, are warriors and, like, are able to push through and fight for themselves. So yeah, I mean, now I'm kind of at this point where um, that, like, self love is such a theme. I put, like, a canvas and I made the activation, like, think of something you love about yourself or think of something that you want to love more about yourself and kiss the canvas. And now I just moved, so I have, like, that hanging in my new studio. So it's like all the different kisses of my fans. It's really beautiful. But yeah, I mean, and that being said, I'm kind of like, through the point of
If you
talking about
haven't yet, if you haven't yet, that would be a really cool thing to feature in a video, in one of your visuals, right? For
that's so
something
cool. I
that's
wanna bring it to my shows too. I wanna do, like, a new piece every show and then
amazing.
have, like, a fan from the town take it home. So that will be on its way when I announce tour. But, yeah, I think that the self-love theme is such a big thing for me, and now going into my next project, now that I actually have broken those patterns for my own life, and it's kind of like, okay, how do I bring along my fans on this journey with me so that they don't go back and enter those cycles again, like, we can move through this together. And so yeah, my next project is very much like a dive within myself and living in, I very much reject the mentality that you need to have, like, chaos around you to write great songs. I think that, be a better writer, find
I
better
I'm
love, you know?
I do not write well if I'm in chaos or really, really sad,
Yeah,
like, I don't
yeah,
write well.
yeah.
Um, I remember having 3 artists within the same week say to me, "You know, I'm in a relationship I really like, and I don't wanna mess it up just to have things to write about." And I realized I used to do that to my life. I would really mess it up so that I
Yeah, a
could.
lot of artists do that.
Yeah, but you don't need to. Like, life
Yeah,
will throw enough curveballs at you. There's enough
yeah,
happening in the world.
yeah,
There's so much within you from the first 7 years of your life, like,
yeah,
emotionally to write about. Like, and literally 3 people in the same week were like, "I don't wanna do that anymore, and I
yeah,
really like this person." I was like, "Yeah, I don't think you need to self-sabotage, or like, life is hard. Life will throw you curveballs. Life will bring you challenges. I think actually I wouldn't say avoid them, but we don't want to create them for ourselves because there's enough of them without our help.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. And I also think, I mean, that was the mission of this the project that's not released, but I feel like I reflected on what I was writing about. What is my legacy if I'm like to die? Like, what have I talked about? What have I healed?
Mm.
And I've done a lot of talking about situations. It sort of started to bug me, where I was like, what does this even have to do with me? Like, how do I
Mm.
express like who I am? Like, I don't need to be talking about, yes, of course, my personality is in my lyrics, my humor is in my lyrics, my melodies have a
Mhm.
distinct way about them. I have my own distinct voice of how I say things, but like really like who am I, and what, on a more serious level, like what is that legacy that I actually want to leave like when I die? Um and like the time is now. So I decided I've went through chaos to find peace a little bit, because had this kind of, I had a moment where I realized like, even though I had broken some like toxic relationship patterns, there was still that pattern appearing in some friendships and in my work life, and I kind of like burned it all to the ground, which is awesome. I was really, now I'm completely like rebuilding. I just have like, high standards. I'd rather be alone than with the wrong anything. So I did the last project I like self-managed for almost a year.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I just wanted to find the right team, which I
Excellent.
have. I'm really, really happy about that. But yeah, I just wanted to rebuild, and instead of like being around, like being a sponge to like energy and going out and finding things, I have kind of, now I have a yard. I'm trying to protect myself and go inwards and create so much emotional space that I actually can delve into, well, what is my family trauma that I need to heal? Because you can't do that if you're like dealing with a situationship. Like, you need to have some sort of peace in order to like go deal with the real shadow work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so, I basically took that, and a lot of the project talks about like unpacking my generational trauma, and writing a love letter to my grandma, who I didn't really get to meet, but everyone tells me I'm so like. And
Oh,
I wouldn't be able
amazing.
to write about these things if I was
Amazing.
in what's his face. So, you
Right.
know.
But again, there's the evolution of the artist, right? Like, where am I now? What do I want to? What's important to me now? What do I need to heal? What do I want to say? What do I want to share with my audience? What needs to be said? You're going inward to find that out, which is the project, is the evolution of you, as opposed to what succeeded last time. How can I do it again?
Mhm. Yeah,
Right?
and you will never do the same thing again.
No.
It won't be the same.
Yeah. But
It
I
won't
do
be.
believe if you consistently go inward, if you consistently check in with what do I need now? Where am I now? What is my audience like? What do I want to share with them? As
Yeah,
you explained, what journey do I want to take them on with me? If you keep consistently do that, the successes can consistently happen, right? It's
yeah.
this, I'm going to do this process again to bring out something authentic and real, and that gets to resonate.
Yeah, I mean, I think about this all the time. I feel really lucky that like my big song was like, I forgot I was a bad bitch. So I've been encouraged to like go be a bad bitch.
Yeah.
I can't imagine like an artist who broke out with like a really depressing song, like, and the words from their label or their team or whatever. I can imagine they would be encouraged to stay in that space and not break through. But really, like, they're just as great as an artist as they are happy, as they are sad. I really truly believe that. I love Elliott Smith so much. I can't imagine. But and it's also already so difficult when you're in a dark place. It's so difficult to break out of that. So I can't imagine pressure to stay.
But
Like, it
but
would just,
also different, different artists are different. Like, I mean, we all
yeah.
just have different, some people are intense and some people are easygoing and some people
Yeah.
are more sad and some people are
Yeah.
more
And some
like
people
your
fight
personality
in
and
that, but
character is
they're
going to come
okay.
through your art,
Yeah,
right? And then
totally.
as you evolve, so does your art as well. Like, I think, we can make bold and incremental changes, but vanilla doesn't become chocolate and chocolate doesn't become
Yeah,
vanilla. So,
exactly.
but because yeah, there's wonderful artists that are like
I love my sad music.
beautifully sad, you know?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I
of
listen to a lot
course.
of music, yeah.
Yeah, John Moreland. Jo I was I went to a John Moreland concert in New York, which is absolutely incredible, and every song within 20 seconds makes you cry. And we
Yeah,
were about 5 songs in, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I just don't know if I can take anymore." It was
yeah,
beautiful, but I was like,
yeah,
"My heart." And then
yeah.
he starts the intro to the next song, and Angela, who's the artist that took me and introduced me to John Moreland, Angela was like, "Oh, this is the worst. This one's the worst."
That's my favorite thing when I'm in the studio where I'm like, "Oh, that hurts, I love it."
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. When it hurts so good, those are the lyrics.
Or, like, someone's telling you something that's, like, really sad, but it's beautiful, and you're like, "Amazing." You're like, "Oh,
Yes,
sorry, I
yes.
was being a writer." I love that.
So true. I say the same thing. I'm like, I want it to hurt so good because it's
Yeah,
that penetration of pain is like, oh, there it is. There's the feeling and the emotion. Oh,
yeah, and
that's so beautiful. I love
I have
that.
some sad, I'm putting out actually I have 2 albums that I'm done with. So, I'm so ahead of myself because my release
Yes.
schedule was so slow. I almost did a lot kind of, like, behind the label's back. I was like, "You can't stop me." So, when I got out, I was like, "No worries. I already know the next project."
Well,
Um,
you'd written a lot of songs,
yeah. Yeah, like, a lot.
right?
I'm also excited, you know, I'm now making kind of shifting gears a little bit into doing more songwriting um and pitching out some of those songs that I've evolved from that are still great,
Awesome.
and just letting them have their own lives. It really feels super freeing. I think that, like, for me, I'm so happy about my independence. I think that, just being able to act upon that
Mm,
calling or, release that energy of time and, like, labor of love, it doesn't feel great to not do anything when you work on something for a year, so,
yeah.
um,
I was
you know
actually just gonna ask you, like, what from being signed to independent, like, what has it been like? Like, what's been liberating, and
Mhm,
maybe what's been scary? Like, what's happened emotionally for you from those from with that change?
totally, I am really, like, proud that I have such a mature I don't even wanna say mature because I don't think it's immature to be crushed, but I think that I believe in myself a lot and I like know I will always have my own back. So when I got dropped, I didn't take it as a rejection. I will always, you know, be like, "Okay, cool. Like wrong time, wrong people. Like that's okay. That's not like my fault."
Yeah,
Um and honestly, I was super grateful when my A&R called me because I think it also is a very common story to kind of keep artists there and shelf them, and, I was actually just super grateful that they kind of, like, were like, "Maybe this isn't the right time or pairing, like, go
yeah,
be free, you'll be
yeah,
better independent."
yeah,
So, you know, I feel like I have a lot of, like, friends that they've spoken to about experience, and I kind of just, like, knew that honestly, it's getting dropped almost feels like a rite of passage, like, all
yeah,
of my favorite artists have been dropped, it's just kind of a
totally.
part of, like, the ins and outs of the industry, so I
Yeah,
didn't take it as, like, a
it's
shock.
just very normal.
Yeah, I mourned, I was sad because, you know, it was a chapter of my life, and, I think, you know, you always entering a major label deal, you have, like, a vision of how it's supposed to happen for you, but life
Sure.
is more creative than even the artists, so,
And by the
uh
way, for everyone watching, if you're on TikTok, please join us on Instagram or YouTube, either mine or Emmeline's, and you can see the both of us talking to each other. But for everyone who's watching, first of all, thank you so much for being here. And if you have questions, drop them in the
yeah.
comments. Happy to answer questions
Ask
for you.
us anything.
What's that?
I said, "Ask us anything."
Yeah. So sorry, I interrupted you.
No, you're
So
so
yes,
good.
liberating and absolutely, like, I mean, some people marry their childhood sweethearts or high school
Yeah,
sweethearts, like, but it's very normal to have a few relationships in life, right?
yeah,
Like,
totally.
being dropped by a label is generally is just part of the business. It's
Yeah,
just
it is.
especially
Yeah.
when you're going to be in it for a few decades.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. Yeah, I was super excited, to be honest. I think it took me a little bit of rebuilding. I also made that choice to kind of rebuild my team, but I'm now like I feel like currently I'm just getting to the place where I'm like, okay, my forces are together. And I really wanted that before I went into the process of putting out this music that I really believe in, because it deserves all that love. It deserves that time and a proper rollout. And
Yes.
yeah, I mean, you get one life, you got to pour everything into it. So I think I feel a little bit impatient. I have to tell myself like my mantra when I moved to LA was like believe in yourself enough to be patient. I said that to myself every single day for 5 years.
Wow, that's a
Um,
good one.
yeah, so
That's really good, very wise. Yeah. I think with that trust in yourself and that trust in the world, that patience is that you, you need the trust to have the patience, right? Like, oh, if things don't move fast, it doesn't mean it's not happening. So
yeah,
keep trusting that, like, I really feel I've learned in, I would say, the last few years, just like as long as you're moving the needle, you're doing the work. If you're
yeah,
moving the needle and you see it going in the direction, that's it. Like it'll come.
yeah,
The breakthroughs will come, and you'll have more than one, and the tipping points will come. But moving the needle, and if you see yourself doing that, and you know you're putting in the work for that, then the rest is, yeah, trust and timing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think that it's also like don't quit too soon. Like it's a matter of time. It's a
Yeah.
matter of time. Yeah, and I think that I do every day I feel like I'm just like beginning again, you know? But this yeah, I mean cannot wait to I haven't even teased the album that's coming. So I'm putting out the music I'm putting out next is, it's almost 3 years old, and I'm still kind of purging some of it. I still really, really, really believe in it, but
Yes.
it was music that I think is essential to my growth as an artist, and I feel like there's a certain order that I need to put these songs out in order to get to that album that I'm speaking on. I have to put this other one out first so
Yeah.
that they can come there with me.
Hmm.
And I think that's what's been impatient, because I think I've kind of grappled with, well, I'm currently in this energy of writing this. Like,
Yeah.
is it like the time is now and I have to put this out and scrap all the other stuff, or do I want to show them that journey? I think that's kind of like a hard thing, because you do have to like commit to that patience with your own rollout. But I also have come to realize, oh, it's everyone else, it's my audience's first time hearing these songs.
Yes.
Let them have an opportunity to have a life with it. I've lived 3 years with it, but they
That's
haven't. So
And again, so normal for like you'll you put out something out and then you'll perform it and tour it. And while
yeah,
you're doing that, you're either writing new material or after that tour, you write new material. And
yeah,
then you're putting that like often you're an album ahead of yourself, ahead of the
yeah.
public. So
2 albums ahead.
yeah, and that's very normal. And yes, it's so normal that
Yeah,
you just need to stay connected like emotionally to it. Well, where am I now singing this song as opposed to wait, I'm not there anymore. You don't
yeah,
need to be there. You won't be in the inspiration anymore. You are past it, but also, where am I now as I share this? And yes, my
yeah,
audience has never heard this. I'm taking them
yeah.
on this emotional journey, this lyrical journey, and this musical journey for the first time.
Yeah, I think,
Great.
like, the process of creating the track list was a way for me to breathe new life into it, because, like, creating that flow, and then I also have, like, I'm doing some, like, self-produced, like, interludes and, like,
Mm,
poems, and, I'm hoping to put out a poetry book with this rollout and just
neat.
show all those sides of myself,
Nice.
quill quills on the imagine, Emeline quills on the merch site, no, um,
That's
no, but
awesome.
yeah, no, I think that I've been able to, like, breathe modern life into old works by adding some, like, of those details, and now it has reinvigorated for me, but I think that, like, I think I had to drop that last EP just to kind of, like, I hate to say the word purge because, like, I don't want it to feel like it wasn't important music to me, but I do feel like with that labor of love, like, I, like, had to get it out quick, and now I'm like, "Okay, I need to be super intentional moving forward from here," because,
But you'd
yeah,
also been waiting a long time to put that music out. So again, it wasn't in haste. You're like, I have all these songs and
yeah,
material. I want to put it out. So when you got the
yeah.
opportunity, you're like, here it is. I've been waiting for
Yeah.
this.
You also never know, like, I think that I and my fans have both experienced fatigue from, like, Strut, I was posting every day for 8 months before the song was out, and I also think maybe there's this shift now where it's like, "Oh, look, this video got, like, 2,000,000 likes." Okay, well, it was 2 years ago, and no one on the video remembers that they liked the video, so, like, why wouldn't I put out the songs and then put in all this effort so that they can actually click on the song? So I
Sure.
have had this shift of, like, I want to, put in the same amount of effort, but, like, I think there is a bit of fatigue right now on TikTok of everyone being yelled at to pre-save songs. So I'm trying to shift with them and respect that.
Pre-save it.
I'm over
Speaking of which, Emeline will have a song for you to pre-save. Yeah, I get you.
pre-save in bio.
Creatively, I know, right? Creatively, what do you do now? What do you now give yourself permission to do that you didn't before or that you couldn't before?
Mm. Um, I'm producing more. I'm
Mm,
letting myself, I think, like, a lot of the perspective, even, directing more. I think there are all these pieces that, sort of I understand that you have to build trust with your label, but, like, pieces that, like, innately, I think I was assumed that I wouldn't be super strong at, that I know that I am strong at, and, I'm letting myself, I'm believing myself in those other areas,
nice. That's
so
awesome.
that's been really fulfilling because I also do think I think it's important sometimes to, like, one mode it and get really, really, really strong at your one thing, but I
Yes.
do just feel like I'm fluent in that one thing now, and I do feel like creatively I need to, like, put my paintbrush elsewhere,
Yeah.
um,
That's awesome.
so
I
yeah,
agree with you wholeheartedly too. Like, it takes a lot of energy to get something off the ground, so
yeah,
focusing is essential,
it
and
is.
then once you have momentum there, as you said, I feel fluid there, you're like, "I have these other talents and skills, I wanna play there," and
Yeah,
I love that you're doing that, so producing and then letting out coming with the poetry, and each thing will be a layer and something might lead to a whole new, part of your career or a whole new, like,
yeah,
channel or lane. That's how this happens, if we
yeah,
don't as a creative, you have a lot of creative talents. I don't think you can spread yourself too thin, and I don't think that you can deliver all of them all at once to your audience, but
yeah,
once you start delivering something with clarity and strength, we can weave in the others in, and then you also have bandwidth for
yeah.
the other.
Yeah, I'm writing a musical.
Mm,
I'm following all my instincts. I think that, they all balance each other out. And I also feel, I mean, throughout the past 5 years that I've been doing pop music, the only reason I'm able to, like, do that is because I also write folk music. So when I write folk music, I get to delve in there, and then I wanna go back to the pop music. So allowing that balance so that I have that excitement
mm,
to go back to it, and, is important for me, and part of that has also become like, oh, like, I wanna build worlds with and for other artists, and I wanna be that, like, empathetic ear that, like, some of my incredible co-writers have been for me, like, and I know exactly, like, what I love about that from other people, and I wanna give that to other people also,
mm.
so, yeah, there's been just some projects that I've been able to help on, and it's been so fulfilling. But yeah, I think just, like, also trusting your instincts of, like, anytime your, like, creative self wants to go do something, go do it because you're being called for a reason, even if it doesn't have to be, like, the most serious thing in the world. Um, yeah, I'm ordering a violin. I've always wanted to play violin. Yeah, I try to keep it interesting for myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know how to
awesome.
say it
I
all.
love I agree with you, follow your instincts, follow your impulses. I love you've also said you're doing some of these things for the first time, and whether or not you become proficient, or whether you're
Yeah,
not what to whatever extent, like the end game doesn't matter. The fact that you're also doing new things is super invigorating. Is
yeah,
like it helps you play somewhere, and I'm like, oh, I know I can be messy and bad. I'm gonna use the word bad. I can be bad at this because I don't expect anything to be myself to be good at this, which then you can bring that into the thing that you are so serious about. And
yeah,
oh wait, but I don't have to be great at this. I can play. Like I played
yeah.
over here. So those elements are also really, really meaningful and valuable as an artist to explore. I love that.
Yeah, and I think unintentionally, sometimes you're going to make the best art because you are having the most fun and you're the
Yes.
most, like, in your inner child. Um,
Yeah.
like, I think I accidentally created some of the best music I've ever made with I have a side project, Naked People, which is my duo, but, I the whole time, like, oh my god, it was, like, a week before I put out my song. Ok I
Yep. Oh, we got freezing. We got freezer burn.
Wendy, your pause for me. Out my song Flowers and Sex. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. A week before I put out Flowers and Sex, I had been working on this music with my partner Casey, and we God, we were writing these like just I don't know where the energy was coming from. It was like fully like from like it was our
Mm.
souls. And it was like music. It was so refreshing, the music we were making. And again, it just felt like we were like kids playing in a sandbox. And I looked at him and I was like, maybe I'm not supposed to make pop music. Maybe I was just a fan. And like what I'm supposed to do is this thing that we've just found right now. Um, and then I like within I think a few days, like my song got like 60 million views, and like I had been reached out to by every major label, and like I ended up getting signed, and the universe was like, "Nope, you're not quitting yet." But I literally was like, maybe I'm not supposed to be Emeline. Like maybe I'm not supposed to
Mm.
do that. And like the next day it like blew up. So cool.
The world was like, "Yes."
I'm like, maybe I'm not supposed to get $1 million. No, but so basically I continued with that project as my like
Mm.
balance. But and Casey also has a side project that he was under a lot of pressure with, and we just kind of had this like space to play and to create without that and
Right.
without eyes. But it was also illegal for us to drop it because I was signed and Capital owned my
Yeah.
voice at the time. So basically when I got dropped, he was like the first person I called, and I was like, hey, I got dropped. He was like, are you happy or are you sad? I'm like, I'm happy. And he was like, fuck yeah. Like you're free. And he was just like, all right, should we
Yeah.
do this? And so we ended up just putting out our first song, and then we've been best friends forever. We like fell in love unexpectedly. We now just moved in together. But now we're like making all these like beautiful love songs and totally unexpected. But yeah, no,
Yay.
that's been the past year. What a like beautiful thing to happen. But yeah, I mean,
I
it
mean,
was
talk
also
about
interesting. It was like
following your
the day.
impulses and where it leads you. That is
Yeah,
that is a succinct version of, like, a couple years of your life, and also many years of your life, like, and how beautiful is that? I love that. I
yeah.
absolutely
And I, like, sobbed not being able to
yeah.
put out that music, like, because it felt like it was time a few years ago, and I had to, like, really, really mourn it. It was really hard. But yeah, I mean, now it's like we're able to, and it just feels so free that, yeah, I mean, I think the fans have no idea how much I
Mm.
care and how
Oh,
much
I don't think they
I
have no idea. I doubt
I mean,
that.
I will, like,
I doubt that.
you know
I have a last question
yeah,
for you. Um,
totally.
what advice would you give younger you or other artists,
Mhm.
that in general, like, just that, like, what would you say to younger
Yeah.
you?
I would say the time is now. I think I always have put a lot of pressure on myself and kind of what we were talking about in the beginning about like, feeling ready and everything. Um, I've written so many lovely songs that I was always just so hard on, are they good enough? Are they a hit? Um, I think that it's really cool to be like, "Oh, like, I can go stream, like, Chapel Roan's music from when she was 14," like, I love that, and I think there's, like, a beauty to that, like, and go don't be a master, like, just exist, let yourself exist, and let yourself grow without shame over perfection because it's art, and it's not supposed to be perfect anyway.
It's not supposed to be perfect anyway. I love that. That's a perfect. That is a perfect ending. It's not supposed to be perfect anyway. Oh man, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing and being here today, for being so open and generous with yourself and your story and your journey with everyone. It's really beautiful. It's very inspiring, and I think it's a strong reminder, right, of reclaiming your voice, your art, your business, how that changes everything. And you're still just in a chapter of your life, so there's going to be so many other
Yeah,
choices and changes, right? It's wonderful. For everyone who's watching, thanks for joining. Twice a month, I'll be having guests like this, and every Wednesday, except for the next 2 weeks, I'll be on vacation. But every Wednesday, I do a live. So if you'd like certain topics covered, answer me, DM me, put them in the chat. Um, and if you love this conversation, please share it, tag us, stay tuned on Wednesdays, join the mailing list, and you'll know about things that are coming up. And of course, if you are an artist ready to dig deeper into your identity, check out the Compass program, check out the Compass Academy. This is where transformation happens. I thoroughly love empowering, being a part of, like, I'm so honored to be a part of your creative life and to be able to empower you and help you be in your journey and joyful in your journey. It's really rewarding.
mm. You too. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Wendy. You're the
Matcha in LA
best.
soon, all right?
Yeah,
All
I
right,
can't wait.
beautiful.
See you guys. Thank you.
Bye.